I think a big part about touring around and heading to new towns and seeing new people. I really like getting a lot of practice in on these new songs. With years, with the county troops, and when he came to it, and by the homes where he stayed, well, there's a sign spelling out your name, saying, son, are they nights or are they days? And when you're listening, when you're listening, would you love me? Well, I don't think you can. Would you love me? Well, I don't think you can. I saw you waltz by the lawn, on every street and every charcoal sun, singing drunk, where we all left to run. And would you answer this? Would you answer this? Would you love me? Well, I don't think you can. Would you love me? Well, I don't think you can. What good time could bring? And it's anywhere far from me, and I know. And it's anywhere far from me, and I know. And it's anywhere far from me, and I know. And hear the bells where they're hung. Know the light and how it falls on us with the tears from your eyes, from the dust. And would you let me in? Would you let me in? Would you love me? 'Cause I don't think you can. Would you love me? 'Cause I don't think you can. Would you love me? And I don't think you can. And would you love me? Well, I don't think you can.
Okay, I have another question. We talked about this earlier today, but one of the dominant themes throughout North is the sense of nostalgia or longing. Can you talk about how these emotions inform your songwriting or how it impacted your album?
How it informs the song? Well, it's kind of everything. So that's a really big question for me. Yeah, it's kind of everything. Nostalgia. You know that moment after you hear some really bad news, and it just kind of just goes right over your head, and it doesn't you don't really recognize that it's happening. Just like what Jeff was saying a moment ago, like it's really hard to capture the moment when you're in the moment. And I've always so it's for those same reasons. When you just miss it, but once it really registers with you, that's when it's most powerful. And then at that moment, it's in the past, and and you can be nostalgic for it. And so that's the only way I know how to recognize feelings. If that does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really later on that everything starts to make sense. You know, you'll see a lot of people who, like maybe, like a close friend has passed, and someone comes to you and you're in class and tells you, or you're at work, and you just say, oh man, and you just get right back to work, and then there's that 15 minutes later, and that person snaps, what happened, and so I think that's what a lot of songwriting is that moment 15 minutes later. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, one of the questions we ask a lot in the class is why film? Like, what about the story we're trying to tell lends itself to film instead of some other medium? So why music? What does music allow for that other mediums like film or painting don't or even can't?
I think everyone's different. It's whatever registers best with you. Whatever. I think it made sense for me as a kid. Mom framed a picture of me playing tennis, and when I saw her taking the picture, I took my tennis racket and started doing a guitar solo, And why music, though? It's what makes most sense to me. Always has. Especially the most remarkable moments in my life were watching live music. I love singing. I've always loved singing. I love screaming. And I don't know. It's just something I think not necessarily born with, but just what makes most sense to you. Yeah. But I love film too. And I love drawing if I know that no one's going to see it. Yeah. Anything else?
Well, do you feel like the music helps you make sense of the 15 minutes before? I mean, I guess that's the second part of that question.
Yeah.
In a way that some other medium might not.
Yeah. You guys have very thoughtful questions. Very thoughtful questions. Ask me again, Jeff. Ask me again.
I'm just curious, if music is the language that you are able to recognize what happened 15 minutes ago, as opposed to film, because having done film and having done some of this other stuff, is music how you make sense of that, of whatever that is, whether it's the bad news or even the good news?
Is it how I make sense of it? It's definitely how I get over it, It's definitely how I get over it. So I think with playing, like I said earlier, how whether it's comedy, cracking a joke, any sort of performance, acting, even playing as a musician, you become a character when you're playing, and your singing voice isn't necessarily your speaking voice. And when you become that character, you become whatever the song is about, and how your voice is portraying it, And I like to try and bring in some sort of idea of being triumphant, or triumphing over what might have happened in the past, and therefore, once that song's over, then it's gone. I think a lot of artists might agree with me there. Once it's over, it kind of feels like that. Yeah, that you've then, once it's put to song, then it's not something you really have to let your mind linger on so much longer. And I think that's why art can make you grow as a person. That last song that I sang really purely came from a place of hate, anger towards some people that I know, and
And I might still have that anger, but I definitely don't choose conflict with them anymore. Yeah. So it might have saved me, might have saved me because this guy's way bigger.